Bonjour. So this little video today, we are going to be talking about ordinal numbers in French. Okay, these do come up in lesson 16. I did mention it briefly when we were talking a few weeks ago when we were still in school, but I'll bring that up at the end. Okay, so these are ordinal numbers in French. Okay, now first things first, what is an ordinal number? Okay, ordinal numbers are first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. And how I remember ordinal numbers is because when you're putting something in order, as in, like I said, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay. Now, to form these in French, what you do is you take the number, whatever number you want, and you're going to add a em on the end of it. Okay. So whatever number, and then you do I, E with the accent grave, M, E to the end. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the examples. For example, deuxième, okay? So we see that de of course is two, and then deuxième, so this one is how we would say second, okay? Deuxième, deuxième, okay? And once again, because we have that X, we usually pronounce it de, but because we're kind of linking that X with that I, we get a little bit of a Z sound. So once again, deuxième. Now, we've got trois, troisième. So trois, we can see there. Remember, that is how we say three. So then again, we're just adding on that em at the end. So then troisième would be how we say third. Okay. Now, sixième, and hopefully you're able to recognize that we've got six right there. And again, we kind of have the same X that we did up here in deux. So then we kind of get that Z sound again. So then sixième would be how we would say sixth. Okay, septième. Septième, again, there's set. Set is how you say seven. So then septième, then of course, is going to be how we say seventh. So deuxième, troisième, sixième, septième. And I'm not going to go through every single number possible or we would be here all day. Okay, now dixième, again, we kind of have that X since there's a lot of numbers in French that do end in that X. So dix is 10. So then dixième is going to be 10th. Okay, now I'm getting a little bigger here. Okay, vingt. Vingt, we have, remember, vingt is 20. So then that means that vingtième then is going to be 20th. Okay, so once again, we are just adding on that em at the end. So far, deuxième, troisième, sixième, septième, dixième, vingtième. And I think I've got one more. We've got cent. Okay, and remember, cent is 100. So then centième would be 100th. Okay, so again, deuxième, troisième, sixième, septième, dixième, vingtième, centième. Okay, so again, I have not covered all the numbers because I do have a few exceptions on the next one. Okay, so again, if you are taking notes, if you want to pause the video and write these down, go ahead and do it, but I am going to go on. Okay, now, as I just mentioned, we do have some exceptions. So again, if you want to write these down in your notes, that would probably be beneficial for you so you can refer back to this later. Okay, first things first, if you did notice, I did skip over first. Okay, so first is an exception, just like it is in English. Now, we do have two because, again, these are considered adjectives. Okay, so if we are talking about something that is masculine, like he is the first boy in the classroom, then we're going to say il est le premier garçon, all right? So it's premier, 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 premier. It's like premier, okay? Premier. Now, if you are going to make that feminine, like you want to say she's the first girl in the room, then again, we're taking that premier, but we're adding an E. But because of that, we also have to add that accent. So then it's pronounced première. So premier, première, premier, première, premier, première. Okay, now that is our first exception, okay? Now, the next one are ones that ended in E. So if we think about our numbers and they have something like quatre, okay? Quatre is usually Q-U-A-T-R-E, okay? Sorry for my terrible handwriting, all right? Quatre, we're going to take off that E, okay? So if it ends in an E, take off that E and then add on the em, okay? Quatrième. Now we have another one, onzième. So once again, onze, remember, is 11. Okay, so we're going to take off that E and add on that IEM. So then that is going to be onzième. And by the way, quatrième, remember, is fourth. Okay, so quatrième, onzième. Now, those are ones that end in an E. Now, we also have ones that end in a Q, which really we only have one number that ends in a Q, but we will see it again in, well, it's 5, remember? So then we'll see it in 25th, 35th, 45th, 55th, whatever. Okay, so once again, if it ends in a Q, you're going to add that U before you add on that EM. So then that is going to be cinquième. Cinquième is, like I said, that is going to be fifth. Okay, cinquième. Now, the last little exception we have are the ones that end in an F. And again, we really only have one number that ends in an F, and that is 9, neuf. Okay, so what you're going to do in this case, you're not going to say neuvième with an F. You're going to change that F to a V, and then you're going to add on the EM. So then you get neuf to neuvième. And remember, I just said it, that is going to be ninth. So really, those are the only exceptions, okay? So again, first, just totally weird, premier, première. Then you have ones that end in an E. Then you have the ones that end in Q. And then you have the ones that end in an F. Okay, now let's go ahead and go on because there's just one last little reminder that I want to tell you guys about. Remember, ordinal numbers, when we talked about this last, is they are part of bangs. Remember, that N in bangs is numbers, and the two little divisions of this is ordinal numbers, which is what we're talking about, and cardinal numbers. And cardinal numbers are, again, just normal numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now what is the whole point about bangs? Why were we talking about it a month ago? It's because they're the ones that go before whatever you're talking about. So if I want to say, example, all right, je suis la deuxième personne dans la queue. I am the second person in the line. Okay, I am the second person in the line. So person is what we're talking about. Now, once again, this is the adjective, all right? Second. This is going before the person. Remember how we said car red or house white? Well, remember, bangs is where we actually do it kind of like English, where we say white house and red car, okay? So again, numbers go before. You don't say personne deuxième. Nope. You say deuxième personne, just like we would in English. I am the second person in line. All right, let's take a look at another one. Jacques préfère le cinquième film de Star Wars. So once again, cinq we see here, remember, is 5. We're adding on that U because of that Q, and then we're doing the EM. So Jacques préfère le cinquième film de Star Wars. Jack prefers the 5th film of Star Wars. Okay, Marina aime la première robe. So again, we are talking about this. It's coming up in our next lesson. That is the word for dress. Okay, so again, première is going before what we're talking about, just like film. The 5th was going in front of film. So Marina prefers the first dress. So maybe she's choosing between 2 or 3, and we were like, which one does she like? She prefers, or she loves, the first dress. Marina aime la première robe. Now, last example. Vous êtes la 12e personne de demander cette question. Now, 12, here's another one. Remember where we were talking about 12 usually ends in an E, but because we take off the E and add on that EM, you are the 12th person to ask that question. Okay, so once again, just like we did in the first example, we got personne, and that adjective is going before whatever we're talking about, because like I said, ordinal numbers are part of bangs. Okay, so if you do have any questions, go ahead and watch this over again or reach out to me by email or text or Schoology message or whatnot. But now we do have an exercise here that it was in our book, but I went ahead and put it on Schoology. You are going to need your textbook to complete that and to get the right answers. Okay, so go ahead and look in the Schoology folder for the next exercise on this. I believe it is exercise 11. Okay. All right. So like I said, if you got any questions, rewatch or ask me.